So I'm 40 years old now. I had, when I was in my early 20s, got married, went through divorce, kids, issues with that personally, going through the courts and things. And, where I'm at right now, I'm remarried. I'm very, very, very happy. Just actually been on a honeymoon, thankfully.
Congrats.
But, I think to look at it as a whole, I think if I look back and look at what I did going through those periods of mental health and struggles with mental health is, one thing that I did was, I've always liked drinking piss with my mates. That's one area that I noticed when things went bad for me. I was sort of using that in a way, like it would kind of numb a lot of the pain that I was feeling, and in a way it got quite destructive for me. So I gave that the boot. For me, that has been a huge change in my life. Just it kind of opens you up to be more vulnerable in a way, because you're raw. You don't have anything to fall back on. But yeah, just for myself, I think there's a huge variant in the way that people use things or habits to try and cope with really tough things in life. One of them, isolation. Another one might be alcohol. For some people, it might be drugs, or it might be whatever. I think for me, the most important thing was probably taking a look at myself and recognizing what are the things that are actually causing me damage. What are the things that are related to each issue of real grief that I've had in my life, and how can I tackle that? If I can put my head on the pillow at night and know that I've done everything right by myself in terms of health, in terms of also knowing that I'm being fair and kind to other people around me, then I can tackle life and the crap that life brings sometimes, feeling good about myself. So yeah, that's probably another one, is just because we're firefighters or ambulance, and when we're in these jobs where we're sort of seen as these fit and healthy people, it's not uncommon for people to have normal everyday struggles like alcoholism, drug addiction, mental health, depression, ADHD, all these things. They're pretty normal things, and they can be dealt with pretty easily as well. There was I remember when I was on station quite a few years ago, I think it was Paddy Gowan, came out with a show on TV, and it was about him experiencing and coming to the realization that he has got an issue with alcohol. And the next day we came into the station, and the amount of people that were just talking about it, man, I think I drink a bit too much, or there's a lot of people out there that, it would be a bit embarrassing to say that, because, and I just think that's a really important comment. We're all weirdly unique in our own different ways, and nothing is abnormal. We've all got the same goal, and I think for being in this kind of, as a first responder, and you really do get kicks out of really helping people that are in need. You've all got the same goal, and it's a serious goal. But to do that, you've got to look after yourself first. Yeah. And you've got to look after your crews and your friends around you, and So.
That's the second time it's mentioned. Both you and Joel have mentioned that there's nothing's abnormal, because what we're doing isn't normal. So it almost normalises everything in a way. To what you were saying, I think, as you mentioned, it's super common in New Zealand, right? The numbing behaviours, I don't know. I haven't researched it. I don't know the numbers, but you look around and you feel like it's almost epidemic levels of people numbing and doing damage to themselves, and in your phrasing. Your journey, you've gone from there. You've gone from a very common place in New Zealand with, you know, the family struggles, the family courts, or all that very challenging series of events in your life, to being able to talk about it. You seem to be, and I should probably ask how you are today.
Yeah, I'm good, man.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah,
really good.
And that's an amazing story, right? Any advice for people in that trench right now? You know, family troubles at home, numbing behaviours that they don't want to confront, they don't, you know, or don't even notice that are there to confront. Is there a path that you could, or a few steps that you've taken that you could highlight that would help someone in that trench right now?
Yeah, well, I guess what I don't want to do is come across as someone who is out the other side of struggles, just in general, as a general term, and everything is all happy now, because I think ultimately life is, and half of life can be a struggle at times. It depends on what it's going to throw you. So, you know, my mechanism of coping, as I said before, one of them is actually, you know, taking the piss out of quite traumatic calls, whether that's good or bad. I think probably my advice to anybody would be, it's really important to check in on yourself and start to have a look. You know, if I'm dealing with something that's abnormal, like first responders do, how am I going to, what do I do to get through, what's my normal behaviour to get through those moments? And is that normal behaviour healthy for me? But also on the other side, as a first responder, we spend half of our life at home. So what's going on at home that I'm struggling with at the moment? How am I responding to that? And looking at that behaviour, and is that healthy for me? Is that causing any rippling effects? That's probably all I could say, is just you know, checking in on what your own behaviours are and taking a hard look at them. If they're making things worse, then, you know, there's plenty of people out there who have gone through divorces and who have gone through everything that we've just said, and there's plenty of first responders that have gone through, you know, real strong mental health issues due to trauma, and there's also plenty of people out there who can, you know, you can talk to, and who, I get where you're coming from. So recognising the behaviours in yourself and then reaching out to others who will be able to understand.